Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. Listen, apologies that we're a little bit late for this one. I just had technical difficulties with the computer really, not much else to it. I've just got in from a driving lesson literally 2 minutes ago, went to put my computer on and it decided to just freeze for 5 minutes and I was like, yeah, that's absolutely sound. That's so sorry that we are a little bit late. If you're watching live, I do apologise for the delay. Big thanks to everybody so far in the live comments. Big thanks for all of the support. 10 likes already on the live stream before I've even opened my mouth. We are going to talk about Everton's first pre-season game against Blackpool tomorrow. Everton travel to Blackpool for our first pre-season game of the 2020-2021 season. Obviously, it's been a very, very quick turnaround. You know, it feels like, and it is only 2 or 3 weeks since we ended the previous season and we're back into things straight away. Now, obviously, ideally, we'd be sitting here saying this is a good opportunity to see X players' first game in an Everton shirt. This is a good opportunity to see Y players' first game in an Everton shirt. But obviously, there's been no signs. There has been a little bit of information regarding Alan and Abdoulaye Doucouré over the last 24 hours, which we'll talk briefly about in today's live stream. But there's not going to be any new signings playing in that game tomorrow against Blackpool, other than possibly Niles Nkounkou, the young left back, who of course we brought in earlier on in the transfer window. So you'll notice an exemption from today's game preview, which is usually in every single game preview that we do here on the channel, and that is a predicted starting 11. And there's a couple of reasons why I haven't put a predicted starting 11 up for this pre-season game. One of them is because I couldn't predict it, because I don't know who Carlo Ancelotti is going to pick, and two, because I really don't want to sit down and do a predicted starting 11 for a game in the 2020-21 season with the new Hummel kit on and have a midfield of Tom Davies and Gylfi Sigurdsson in there. I just really couldn't bring myself to do it. So we will talk about the side that's most likely to play tomorrow. We'll go over some of the players and we'll talk about the benefits of tomorrow's pre-season game, which we all know, look, it's a game to test the fitness of the players. Yes, there'll be a lot of us watching because it'll be live streamed over on evertonfc.com if you're a season ticket holder. If you are a member for the football club, you'll be able to go on and watch the game. But we all know that there's not going to be any unbelievable football played tomorrow. It's not going to be a spectacular game. There's nothing in it, of course. It's the first pre-season game of the season. And I'm thinking about it a little bit like the first pre-season games of the season usually are. And they usually come at the end of a training camp. You know, in previous seasons, we've done a week's training camp in Austria and then played a 19th Division Austrian team at the end of it, like ATV Erding, who we beat 22-0. We do it every single season. Usually we go out to a little, training camp before we go on our pre-season tour. We do a week there, whether it's Austria, whether it's Switzerland, I think it was last season, and then we play one of their local sides at the end of the week, and we usually beat them about 6 or 7-0, and it's just basically a training match. And this is what this will feel like for Everton Football Club tomorrow. Now for Blackpool, on the other hand, it'll be a little bit more competitive. It's an opportunity for the Blackpool players to turn up and show that they can perform on a high level against the Premier League opposition. Now again, notoriously, whenever Everton face sides like Blackpool or Blackburn or any other side like that who are in sort of League One, the Championship, we don't come away with a fantastic result because their players step it up a notch to try and prove themselves, and our players see it as what it is, a pre-season game to test your fitness, and it's usually a boring game or we don't quite get the result we wanted. I've been to many a pre-season games where we've played Samia, where we've played Blackburn, where we've played Blackpool, and Everton haven't come out with a positive result because we just haven't really turned up and the other team has wanted to prove themselves. So for Blackpool, it's an opportunity for their players to come out and try and prove themselves, and a good opportunity for their younger players to try and force a move to maybe a Championship club or even a lower level Premier League club in this summer transfer window. And for Everton, it's purely a game to test fitness. Now look, the players shouldn't be that unfit. There shouldn't be a lot of regaining fitness. There shouldn't be a lot of returning to match fitness going on because, like I said, we only finished the Premier League season, the 2019-2020 Premier League season, about 3 or 4 weeks ago because obviously of what's gone on with the pandemic and because of the quick turnover and playing the last 9 games. It's literally been 2 or 3 weeks since the lads last played the competitive game of football. They had a couple of weeks off, they were back in training, they've been in training for a week, and this is their first game back. So there shouldn't be many of the excuses of, oh, they've been out for 3 or 4 weeks, they haven't had a professional game for 5 or 6, 7 weeks. The players should be as fit as they were when they left last game of the season. Now, of course, they'll have had a little holiday and they'll have, had a little break, but they've been back in pre-season training now now. And again, I'm not taking any of this, oh, well, they've been resting and they haven't really been playing competitive football, because it's like being having a 4-week break, really, which, in sometimes in football, you'd have a 2-week break anyway with the international. So for me, Everton should turn up and we should be as fit as we were towards the last game of the season. And granted, we weren't performing very well at that point either, but fitness-wise, there shouldn't be many issues there. Again, like I said, look, in terms of the Everton side that you're likely to see tomorrow, it's going to be very much of what we saw last season. Now, I really do hope that Niles Nkounkou at left-back gets his opportunity and comes in and can prove himself. I really do hope that we see Moise Keane up top with Ellis Simms. I hope that John Joe Kenny gets to go. What I don't want to see is Everton go out there and try and put out the best starting 11 that we can. And that's not because I don't want us to go out and take the game seriously or try and win the game. But I don't want to see Gylfi Sigurdsson and Tom Davis. And I don't want to see players in the side that realistically either won't be at the football club next season or will not be playing week in, week out next season. There's absolutely no point. This is the perfect opportunity for not only Carlo Ancelotti to have a look at some of the younger players, to have a look at some of the players that could break through this season, but it's also a perfect opportunity for us as fans to have a look. Listen, Marcel Brands and Carlo Ancelotti will have watched the likes of John Joe Kenny in training over the last 7 days. They'll have watched John Joe Kenny on loan at Schalke. They'll have known what he's like. They'll have known his strengths. Us as fans, listen, unless you watched every Schalke game last, in the return of the fixtures, then you're not going to know how good John Joe Kenny has been performing towards the back end of the season. I caught them a couple of times and he looked alright. His positioning was woeful at times. We certainly haven't seen him as fans since he's been back at Everton and in that week's training and how well he's done. So this would be a good opportunity for us as fans to look at a John Joe Kenny and think, right, okay, let's see if he can step it up a level. Let's see if he is good enough to be a part of this team going forward. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, it's only Blackpool. Blackpool are the opposition, so how are you going to be able to tell whether a player is good enough to play in the Premier League when he's coming up against League One opposition? For me, I think in John Joe Kenny's case, it's never really, certainly since he went out on loan at Schalke, it's never really been a case of has he got the ability. It's never really been a case of has he got the technical ability, has he got the potential, can he get forward, is he decent on the ball. John Joe Kenny's problem has always been position for me, and John Joe Kenny's positioning will be found out if it hasn't improved, whether we play Blackpool, whether we play Manchester United, or whether we play my Sunday league team on a Sunday afternoon in the pissing down rain. If he hasn't improved his ability off the ball, if he hasn't improved his awareness, if he hasn't improved his positioning, that will get caught out and that will get exposed tomorrow afternoon against Blackpool. And like I said, it's a fantastic opportunity for us to look at a John Joe Kenny, look at a Niles Nkounkou, because at the moment Everton have only got one left back, one first team left back. That's got any real Premier League experience. Obviously, off the back of Leighton Baines retiring and hanging up his boots at the end of last season, we now only have Luca Dean, who has got any Premier League experience or any experience at that high level. So if Luca Dean comes into next season and he gets an injury and we don't manage to sign a left back in this transfer window, now don't get me wrong, I do think we'll sign a left back. However, this is a fantastic opportunity for Carlo Ancelotti, Marcel Brands, us as fans to look at Niles Nkounkou and say, right, okay, let's see what you can do against League One opposition. If you're miles better, if you absolutely stand out, then fantastic, we can carry on. If you look a little bit shaky, if you don't look up to it, then the likelihood is you're not going to look up to it in the Premier League within the next couple of years, within the next couple of weeks and months or so. So we'll go out and we'll actively look to bring a left back in. There's a lot of players that can be tested out tomorrow, and there's a lot of players that we can bring into the team to see where they're at. It's also a good opportunity for your Balassi or your Besic, who some fans may deem as better than players that we currently have in the squad, or better than players that were playing consistently last season. It's a good opportunity to put them in, see where their heads at, see where their levels are, and also a good opportunity for us to put them, and if anything, put them in the shop window, put a few clips of them on social media and go, look at what Mo Besic's done against Blackpool, and then hopefully someone will bite and make an offer for him. Also, like I mentioned, strikers, Ellis Simms. I really want to see Ellis Simms in this game tomorrow afternoon. Look, I was disappointed to not see Ellis Simms in any of the fixtures for the remaining 9 games of the season. I understood it because Carlo Ancelotti wants to go out to win as many as possible, and he wants to go out to have the strongest finish, and look, a 19-year-old lad with no Premier League experience is probably not the best player to throw in that situation. But I've said it before, I've said it on a previous live stream. I think we actually sat down and done a live stream sort of all about Ellis Simms. This is the season for Ellis Simms now. This is the time where he either breaks into this Everton team, he goes out on loan, or he leaves the football club. He's 19 years old. I think when a lot of people hear the name Ellis Simms, and when a lot of people think about the player, their sort of go-to thought is, oh, he's only about 16, 17, 18 at max. He's only very, very young. He's got a future ahead of him. He has got a massive future ahead of him, but Ellis Simms is the same age as Moise Keane. Now, Moise Keane didn't have an unbelievable season last season, don't get me wrong, but he was in and around that first team, 6 starts, 2 Premier League goals, loads of appearances. I think he got over 30 appearances in terms of off the bench and stuff. Ellis Simms has had none, and he's a 19-year-old. We cannot afford to keep Ellis Simms in the under-23s for another season, because once he hits that 20 mark and he's not ready to take the step up to Premier League football, he's sort of past that point of really, is he going to take that step up? Then he gets to 21, 22, and players around his age who are good enough for already in and around the Premier League, or some of them are even playing week in, week out. So for me, this is a vital season for young Ellis Simms, and it's massively important that he plays in this game tomorrow. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, we haven't seen them at Finch Farm since the return. I don't know if they're training and there just hasn't been any pictures, or whether they've been given a little bit more time off. I would assume they're being given a little bit of extra time off because they were fucking miles better than anybody else last season. But ultimately, we haven't seen them, and therefore we can. I've played there. We can assume that they haven't been training with the team. So therefore, if we're going to play a formation with 2 strikers, Moise Keane's one of them. Hopefully, Ellis Simms will be the other, and like I said, it gives us a fantastic opportunity to actually see what Ellis Simms is about and actually see his quality, because realistically he should be turning it up in a game like tomorrow. He should be turning up, putting 2 or 3 past this Blackpool team. They're a League One side. They've struggled and been in and around League One for a few years now. They haven't got unbelievable quality of players. They've had some struggling times over the last couple of seasons or so. This should be a game, this should be a team that, Moise Keane's looking to step into and really, really make an impact. He's 19 years old. Look, I like the lad. He's got a lot of potential. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But it's probably the season now where he starts to show a bit of that potential, whether it's at Everton in the Premier League, or whether it's at somebody else, a high-level Championship side playing week in, week out, or another Premier League side, getting a fair amount of game time. There's absolutely no point in Ellis Simms sitting on the bench for another full season, or playing in the under-23s for another full season. So again, these are the type of players that I expect to see tomorrow, and I hope to see tomorrow. I don't want to see Gylfi Sigurdsson getting 90 minutes. I don't want to see Tom Davies getting 90 minutes. I don't want to see Alex Iwobi or Theo Walcott getting 90 minutes, because we know what these players can offer. We know they're not that great in the Premier League. In some cases, some of them are dreadful in the Premier League, and we know that, yes, okay, they might turn up and, Gylfi Sigurdsson might score an attack against Blackpool tomorrow, but it means nothing, because he showed that in the Premier League he can't do it week in, week out. He's not good enough, and he should be moved on. Play the younger players, put Ellis Simms in there, let's see what he can do. Let's see him have his first team appearance and see if he tears it up against the side where, realistically, if he's got any aspirations of being a first team player in a Premier League side and playing week in, week out in the Premier League, at 19 years old, he should be ripping to bits of League One side. Same with Moise Keane. Put Anthony Gordon in there. Let's see what he can do. Listen, Anthony Gordon's proved himself already in the Premier League. We know he's a very, very good player, and he's a player that will be playing consistently next season. I honestly do believe that. And look, again, Anthony Gordon's another player who I've been massively impressed with since the lockdown, before the remaining 9 games of the season, and since the Premier League season has finished. He has been absolutely unbelievable in terms of going to training every single day, working his arse off, and then coming home and having private strength and conditioning sessions with his private PT and working his arse off. Him and Moise Keane have been 2 players in particular that you've seen on social media and that you've seen around who are doing the extra bit of work, who are going the extra mile, who are not only turning up to training every single day and doing what they need to do, but are then going home and going, no, you know what, I want to do more. I want to do more strength and conditioning. I want to get better. I want to get stronger. And I think Anthony Gordon's assessed the situation really, really well. And for a young lad, he seems really, really mature, because he's obviously looked at it and gone, look, technically, I'm probably better than any Everton player on the ball. Certainly any attacking Everton player on the wing. Ability-wise, like I said, I've got it. If there's one thing he probably needed to improve on going into this season, it was his strength. It was his ability to stand up in the Premier League, to not get pushed off the ball, to not only have the pace and the quality, but to be able to stand up and bully players as well. And he's very, very clearly showing that he's working on that in these videos that you've seen. The lad looks absolutely ripped to shreds, and I cannot wait to see him next season. I hope to see him tomorrow turning it up as well. So, listen, for me, that's pretty much the basis of it. It's a first pre-season game. It's the first game in 3 weeks. Like I said, this is Everton Football Club, so as much as I can sit here and say I expect the players to be as fit as they should be, I expect the players to put in a performance. I don't expect any of these, there's fitness issues, excuses, because there's only been 2 or 3 weeks since the last game. Like I said, it's Everton Football Club, so don't be surprised if players turn up and look absolutely fucked tomorrow. But play some of the younger lads. Listen, this would be an ideal situation to throw an Allen in, or to throw a Decore in, or to throw, a Lozano in, or whoever else we'd have signed, this season, or whoever else we will go on to sign this summer. This would be an ideal situation to throw them in and go, look at them, let's see how they can do. But ultimately, we haven't signed any players yet, and we're not going to sign anybody before tomorrow. And if we do announce a signing before 3 o'clock tomorrow, when the game kicks off, they're not going to play in that game tomorrow. So why go out and put the same players that disappointed us week in, week out in the Premier League last season, the same players that most fans will probably see on the team sheet and go, you know what, I'm not even going to fucking bother watching. Why not go out there and play Niles Nkounkou at left back, play John Joe Kenny at right back, let's see Dennis Adina through the middle with Benny Beningame, let's see Ellis Simms and Moise Kean up front, let's see Anthony Gordon there, let's throw the young players in and see what they can do. Because ultimately, if this was a Premier League game, they'd probably do better, or arguably do better than a lot of the, experienced Premier League players in our squad do. Certainly better than the likes of Sigurdsson, or Iwobi done at any point during this season, or Schneiderlin or Delph. But it's not a Premier League game, it's a pre-season game. It's the first pre-season game. We're playing League One opposition. Again, it's a game that is, let's be honest, purely about fitness and purely about players. Yes, they should be already in and around there anyway, but adding that little extra bit of fitness to get to that final level before obviously the Premier League starts in about 2 or 3 weeks or so. So for me, that's pretty much my game preview. It's not been a long one. We will get into the live comments. We'll read all of them. We'll talk about some signings as well. But that's all there is to it. Like I said, I can't predict the starting 11 because the side I'd like to see, I don't know whether it's going to be the side that plays, but I just honestly don't see the point in playing the experienced Premier League players that let us down week in, week out. Yes, okay, maybe play a Michael Keane or a Mason Holgate, maybe even, a Bernard to give him an opportunity, but there's no need to play Gylfi Sigurdsson, there's no need to play Fabian Delph, there's no need to play Alex Iwobi in the game tomorrow, because if any of those players have got a future at Everton Football Club, there's no need to put them in and take the opportunity away from a younger player who's probably chomping at the bit wanting to get his opportunity. And like I said, it's a good chance for Ellis Simms, it's a good chance for Anthony Gordon, it's a good chance for Moise Kean as well, it's a good chance for Niles Nkounkou to show their quality and to show that they can step it up and they can play at least a League One level. And I'm not saying if they don't perform tomorrow, I'm not saying if Anthony Gordon doesn't have a good game and doesn't score 6 goals, or Moise Kean doesn't score an hat-trick, or Ellis Simms doesn't score a bicycle kick, then they're not good enough. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we need to give these players the opportunity. Certainly, listen, I've got no qualms regarding Anthony Gordon because I know he'll be in and around this side next season. I know he'll be playing consistently in the Premier League, very similar to Moise Kean. Moise Kean will be in and around this side. He mightn't start every week, but he'll be playing consistently in the Premier League. It's more Ellis Simms, it's more Niles Nkounkou. I want to see what they can do, because in terms of Nkounkou at left back, if he can't perform at that level, then we seriously need to look at bringing a left back in this summer, because we've got no cover. If he can, brilliant, maybe he's good enough to be the cover and to play in a couple of Premier League games if need be. If Luca Dean gets injured, of course he's not going to be the number one. And for Ellis Simms, look, it's crunch season for me for Ellis Simms. I don't want him to be another one of those young players who just disappears through the academy. I don't want him to be another Kieran Dowell. I don't want him to be another Ryan Ledson. I don't want him to be another Jose Baxter, another Conor McAlhaney who just disappear through the system and then end up playing for Norwich or Burnley or somebody else come the next 3 or 4 years. I want to see him given his opportunities. 19 years old, throw him in there. Moise Kean's 19 years old and has already been at that level, playing at that level. Now, don't get me wrong, he didn't have an unbelievable season, but he was given that opportunity. So give Ellis Simms a very similar opportunity. If he's not good enough now, when is he going to be good enough? Big thanks to everyone for getting involved in the live comments. 47 people currently watching live. If you're enjoying the live stream, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. 22 likes, really do appreciate it. Share the live stream as well. Let's get as many people in here as possible. I'm actually going to tweet the live stream because I didn't get a chance to tweet it before we started up. Bear with me 2 seconds. I can't multitask. As you can see, this is why I still haven't passed my driving test after about 14 years of doing driving lessons, because I just simply can't multitask. The instructor starts talking to me and that's it. Then I'm like, what? Where is that? And then I fucking miss something. We'll get into the live comments then. Terry McAllister in the live chat. Thank you, Terry. He says, wouldn't mind seeing Gordon as one of them forwards in the 4-4-2. Since the opportunity is there, see if you can be fourth choice option if needed. Spot on again. Again, in terms of where the players play, mix it up a little bit. These are the perfect games to mix it up a bit. This is the perfect game to qualm the thought of, can Alex Iwobi play at centre attack and mid? Can Bernard play at centre attack and mid? If they can, side them in one of these games and let's see how they can do. Let's get into the live comments then. I do apologise. Let me know what you think about tomorrow's game as well. Will you be watching 3 p.m. kickoff? Of course, like I said, live streamed on evertonfc.com if you're a season ticket holder, if you're an official member, and if you're a hospitality member from last season, I believe you can watch it. If not, I'm not too sure if you'll be able to watch it. You might have to purchase one of those memberships or find it on a streaming service, which I dare say you probably will be able to. But 3 p.m. kickoff away from home to Blackpool tomorrow. We then play Blackburn in about 9 days' time as well. Everton TV says, hello Cam, hello mate, hope you're doing well. James says, do you know how we can watch the game tomorrow? Yes, like I said, on evertonfc.com. We did tweet out a link a few weeks back on our Twitter at MightyBluesYT. I'll get a link tweeted out today with all of the information on about it, so you can have a little look and see if you can watch the game, and if not, how you can. Sportbot says, hey Cam, how's your day? Do you think Evertonians are desperate? Because every account on social media, Everton, there's a post that will comment, sign Alan Decore. Well, yeah, we are desperate, but we're desperate for a reason. We're desperate because we're about to play our first pre-season game of the 2020-2021 season tomorrow. It's highly likely that Tom Davis will play in the midfield, Gylfi Sigurdsson will feature in the midfield, Fabian Delph will play in the midfield, so we're desperate to bring players in. Look, the season starts in 2 or 3 weeks' time, so we need to bring these players in, we need to embed them in. Do I think we will bring players in within the next week or so? Yes, I think Alan, I think Decore will both be Everton players, certainly Alan. I'm a bit hesitant on Decore, whether he will or will not, but certainly Alan over the next couple of weeks or so. But we are desperate, and there's a reason for that, and that's because the team massively needs improving, and we cannot go into next season with this current set of players because they're not good enough. Philip says, James, you can buy a season ticket to watch stuff, I think, from the Everton website. Yes. Sportbot says, all one expert, I think. Eugene says, another rumour, another Napoli player. Philip says, who? Everton TV says, 100% agree about what Holgate said. Me too, mate, me too. Hopefully see Mason in the game tomorrow as well. Sportbot says, don't get why they said Alan will become an Everton player on Wednesday in 48 hours. Well, again, it was just paper talk, wasn't it? It was just, it was just journalists making shit up to try and get clicks ultimately, and obviously that hasn't been the case. Do I think we'll sign Alan? Yes. Do I think it'll be before this weekend? I don't know. You don't know with Everton, do you? You just don't know. But again, we'll wait and see. I am confident, but as to when it'll be, I don't know. Eugene says, do Everton need both? For me, they do, yeah. Everton TV says, when's this starting? Yeah, there was a little delay. I do apologise about that one. Wayne says, what's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? I'm not too bad, mate. Wayne says, Cam is slower than Everton in the transfer market. It's the computer, mate. It's not me. I'm solely... Look, a good workman doesn't blame his tools, but I'm blaming me tools for this one, so, believe me or don't. Everton TV says, up the toffees. Philip says, getting a bit sick of this Alan saga that's turning into Gabriel. I don't think it is. Mate. Listen, obviously it's a little bit drawn out. It is a little bit drawn out because we haven't signed him and we've been linked with him for a couple of weeks or so. But the difference is with the Gabriel saga is there seem to be a lot of sides interested in Gabriel, and Gabriel seemed to be flirting with a lot of sides, and his agent seemed to be flirting with a lot of sides. There's been some good, reliable sources that have come out and said Alan has actually rejected moves to Atletico Madrid and to other top European level clubs in favour of a move to Everton. The personal team shouldn't be an issue. The medical shouldn't be an issue. It's just a case of agreeing that fee with Napoli, and once that fee is agreed, everything should be a go. So I think it's a little bit different, and like I said, I'm well more confident. The Gabriel situation was just pissing me off. The Alan situation is a little bit infuriating, but I understand that we have to be patient. If you're enjoying the stream, by the way, please do hit the like button. 45 people currently watching live, 24 likes. If we can get to 30, it'd mean a massive amount to me. Wimmy says Alan's done, just both teams squeezing the most out the fee. I agree, mate. Jess's won't be long, thank you very much for that one. Everton TV says yes, agree, Philip Mason. Wimmy says when's it starting? Like a box of chocolates. Philip says, bit like our transfer window, when's it starting? Sportbot says Cam's live stream is like watching an Ancelotti press conference late. Bloody hell, I'm getting stick left, right, I'm getting bullets left, right and centre here. It wasn't my fault. Everton TV says a no, right. Wimmy says feel like Peter Owen Wingy here. Phil says yay. James says nice one. Tuti says link with some striker from Hull City. The bad news is we're 6 months too late because Jared Bowen went to West Ham. Are we linked with a striker from Hull City? I haven't seen that link. Again, it's probably like the the Ryan Fraser link was it, or the player coming out and saying, I want to go to Everton, and Everton going, nah, you're alright, and then it just being like, oh yeah, that's that one sorted then, that's that one, you know, sort of folded away and put in the drawer to be forever forgotten about. A player wants to come to Everton, Everton don't want the player, we move on. Wayman says, we're just messing. You'll says 10 likes for Cam to start. Thank you very much for all the support, really, really do appreciate it. If you're watching the live comments, get your comments in. If you're watching the YouTube video, get your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'll be in and around them, of course. I wasn't, Wayne, I'm not going to read it, but I wasn't. Sportbot says Ellis Simms is saying with the first team he has, and he should be in the starting 11 tomorrow. Wayne says, so did Balassi and Besic and Ghosty Sigurdsson. Wayne says, finally the cameras come to the live stream if you smell what the camera's cooking. What a belter quote that is. What an absolute belter quote that is. I love The Rock. I absolutely love The Rock. Toothy also says, yeah, Cam, technical difficulties. I heard you zip your pants up. No, mate, no. I literally come in from my driving lesson and my computer just thought, you know what? I'm just going to chill here. I'm not even bother working. So blame the PC, everyone. I know it's just banter, mate. I know it's just banter. Reece says, not even bothered about the game. Just want us to announce Alan and Decore. There you go. Hopefully we will within the next coming days and certainly week. Tom says, thoughts on Zakaria or Pereira from Porto's alternatives for Decore? I think one of them would work better with Alan. Would also love Sangare. I'd love Sangare, mate. Everton aren't going to sign Sangare, but I would absolutely love Sangare. In terms of the other two players you've mentioned, yeah, I think they're decent players. They'd fit into Everton. They definitely improve us. I don't think we're looking at them at the moment, but they're good players. Semi-Charm Life says, Blackpool midfield dreadful, ain't it? It certainly is. Wayne says, Milan or Seville, anybody be cheering on Lukaku tonight? Inter Milan probably. I don't know because I do like Seville. I like Seville's consistency. I wish we were as consistent as Seville, winning European trophies near enough every year. But just watching Lukaku the other day against who did he play the other day, and he just absolutely ripped them to bits. It was unreal. Reece says should get Zaniolo from Roma. James says Thiago Silva going to Italy in a big pay cut would have been nice for a year or two. Yeah, but looks like he's been offered to Chelsea as well. Sammy says hit the like button, lads. If you could hit the like button, lads and ladies, it would mean a massive amount to me. Toothy says, what are you doing this weekend, Cam? We'll be watching the game tomorrow, doing an instant match reaction on the game as well. And then other than that, mate, not much, to be honest with you. Not much. Chilling, enjoying my weekend, trying to chill out a little bit and rest, spending it with the missus, of course, as per usual. Sportbot says if Iwobi plays shite. If Iwobi plays tomorrow and plays shite, I will feel for him. I won't, mate. I'll say you shite, get out the squad. Where are we then? Where are we? Toothy says Conte is so whiny. Reece says he's a great manager. James says I like Kenny. I know a lot of don't. But we'll see. Let's see what he can bring tomorrow. Sportbot says can't judge John Joe Kenny because he played right wing midfield in Schalke. Well, let's see. Let's see if he plays and how he plays tomorrow. If he doesn't play, then it says a lot because, let's be honest, he should be playing. There's no reason to play Seamus Coleman in the game tomorrow. Toothy says, they splashed tons of money for big players and it never seems to be enough for Conte. Still finds a way to complain about the ownership. Mike says, not sure they were ever fit, Cam. That's a good point, to be honest with you, mate. They should be at that level, where they're at least as fit as they were at the last game of the season. And yes, that's probably not going to be very fit because, let's be honest, we were shite in those last 9 games. Bear with me just 2 seconds. Eugene says James Scotton says Wayme says John Joe's position won't be so much of a problem if we have one less tackling midfielder. Carl says Alan will be incredible for us. I agree, mate. Jab says Everton died in the transfer window as usual. Wayne says don't understand why we would go in for Decore 25 million, 120k a week wages when we can get Sangare and Santi Maria for the same money. Premier League experience, mate. Premier League experience goes a long way in this day and age, and ultimately I'd love Sangare at Everton Football Club, but that lack of Premier League experience is obviously a big red flag for Ancelotti and Brands. Whether it should be or not, I don't know, but it is. Carl says Sangare isn't even to lose bed midfielder. I think he is personally, but there you go. Gary says Roma manager Fonseca managed Bernard at Schalke Donetsk and did well. Why don't we offer shades at under? It will help financial fair play as he is a high earner. Pity we haven't sold the Deadwood yet. Well, you can't sell the Deadwood unless people come in for them, can you? And I think that's the reason why we haven't. In terms of under, again, I'm not completely sold on him yet. I think he's a decent player, but I don't know if he'd be able to play in the Premier League. James says, I want to see Balassi get it going. Moise Keane. I think both will start tomorrow, if I'm being honest with you, mate. Whammy says, Cal, you're missing the point. Buy the Prem in relegated sides. The prices are mental. You can get 2 players for the price of 1 if you're smart, and 2 players younger than Decore. You can sell 1. Teddy says, it just won't feel like a pre-season without Nias or Morales. It won't, mate. It won't feel like a pre-season without Morales scoring 4 in every pre-season game and then being nowhere near the Premier League squad. But there you go. James says, not sure for me. Played 30 odd games for Watford last season. They went down. But again, you know, Gay played in an Aston Villa side that were relegated as well. So you'd have to look at it both ways. Kalik says, we still need first teamers playing so they can improve their match fitness so they're ready for the Premier League. I agree. I'm not saying don't play any first teamers. But, you know, we've got another pre-season game, next week against Blackburn. We then play another pre-season game which is yet to have been announced yet. So there's plenty of time for those players to play. I just think this would be a great opportunity to put the young players in and show what they've got. Because let's be honest, if the club are confident, and they should be confident of getting Allen over the line, or Decore over the line, or even both players over the line, then why is there a need for a Fabian Delph or a Gylfi Sigurdsson to play? If the club are confident that those players aren't going to be starting week in, week out in the Premier League next season, then there's not really any point in playing them in every single pre-season game. Play them, bring them on, give them 20 minutes, give them half an hour, start them in one game, I agree. But what I don't want to see is Gylfi Sigurdsson playing, 270 minutes over the next 3 pre-season games, because it's just not needed. And he probably won't be able to play it anyway, because let's be honest, I can't watch 270 minutes of him standing around pointing at other players. Jason says, Max Allen's defo for me. I'd love him, but I don't think we'd get him. Wayne says, Shefton Scotty shoots 12 under par. Nice round that. That's the golf. Jason says, except in a few seasons we could make money on Aarons. We certainly could. He's a decent player, I agree. James says, Cam's right, we should play all the young lads tomorrow. We should play enough of them to give them their opportunity, mate. I'm not saying play every single one of them, but they should be given their opportunity, because they deserve it. Ultimately, they deserve it more than some of the first teamers do. Whammy says, it's hard to justify Aarons when they're pushing for 30 million for the player. I think we'd make money on him, to be honest, and he plays in a position that we need to improve on. He is a lot of money. You can't deny that. If you're enjoying, by the way, so far, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We will be live on Monday with the Talking Rubbish Transfer Show once again. We'll probably have a little review to this game on in and around about Monday. We might do the Talking Rubbish Transfer Show on Wednesday instead and do the review on Monday. We'll have an instant match reaction to it tomorrow. So depending on how lively the game is, we might just do the instant match reaction and the game review in sort of one video tomorrow after the game. But we will be live on Monday, whether it be the review or the Talking Rubbish Transfer Show at 5:15. Cal says, turning down a player who got relegated because he was used by clueless managers has nothing to do with him. Silly to let this one slip through our hands if he goes to Watford and Wolves and dominates. Fair point. Whammy says, I already hit the like, get off my back. Thank you very much, Whammy, really appreciate it. James says, in these times, for that much if we got Allen, is a well maybe. There you go, potentially. Semi says, one dislike must be a dirty red around. Let them hate, mate, let them hate. Whammy says, yeah, you should never drive. Happily chatting about Everton as you career through a farmer's market. Yeah, that'd be me, mate. That would be me. I cannot multitask at all. Andy said, Jesus, I forgot about Conor McAlhaney existed. I did as well, to be honest, until he popped up in my head then, and I was like, fucking hell, remember Conor McAlhaney? Whammy says, what's a Conor Watts it's then. 1878 ST, what's happening, mate? He says, go ahead, Cam, go in the Asda, do you want anything? I've literally, the missus has just ordered a KFC for us, so I'll be tucking into one of them very, very shortly. Thank you very much for the offer, though. Hopefully I'll see you in and around the Asda at some point soon. Cass says, I don't get it, mate. People moaning Alan Decore but say we should replace Davis. Transfers can take ages. It isn't FIFA. You're spot on, mate. Sport Botcher says, so sad. An Arsenal fan told me he is doing medicals today and then told me his experience he won't sign. Then yesterday, PSG and Manchester United bid. You're talking about Gabriel there. Again, Gabriel's saga's taking another 25 turns. Mike says, point of pressures, Cam. If the young lads get a chance, they've got to take it. First team is not a training exercise. Agree, play them against Blackpool. You're spot on, mate. Callum says, why does everyone think Gomez is better than Olgate? Because they don't watch football. Richard says it was Shakhtar Donetsk, Cam. I think, there you go, Shakhtar who played Seville. I think Seville's record in this competition, I fancy Inter Milan to win tonight and Lukaku to score. Love the channel, keep up the good work. But thank you very much. Listen, I'd like Lukaku to win a major competition. I don't hate the lad. I think he's a fantastic footballer. Yes, he could have been a little bit better, more respectful at Everton Football Club, but I've got nothing massively against them. Everton apparently working on the final details of a new Leighton Baines role. That's very, very interesting. That's according to the Liverpool Echo. Cal says 30 million for Allen is a steal. I'm watching Napoli. He is phenomenal. Makes that midfield. He also says, don't want money on a player we are going to back as a fan base. We are a selling club. We need to get out of that mentality. You're spot on. The Dugout Football channel says, everyone is welcome on my channel. It's exciting to see some football again. Yep, go and check out the Dugout Football channel if you are new. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's live stream. We'll finish up there. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Like I said, we'll be back with an instant match reaction to the Blackpool game tomorrow. 3 p.m. kickoff. You can watch it on evertonfc.com. You can go on evertonfc.com and get all of the information there. Big thanks to everybody for watching live. Massive thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments. I really, really do appreciate it. We'll be live again on Monday, 5:15 with another live stream, but we'll be back with another video tomorrow. We did do a video on the Premier League fixtures. I don't think an email got sent out. I didn't get an email anyway, so I think a few people might have missed it. We did do an email, my instant reaction or my reaction on the released Premier League fixtures yesterday. So if you haven't checked out that video, please do go and check it out. Let me know your thoughts on, obviously, the 2020-2021 Premier League fixtures that were released yesterday. If you have enjoyed, please do hit the like button. A massive thanks to everybody in the live comments as per usual. If you're watching a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'll get involved with as many of them as possible. James says Ghana was like 7 mil. This lad is 25 mil from relegated tab, but wedges weren't too much for Ghana. Can't really compare. Fair point. Sportbotcher says about time Lukaku won a trophy. I agree. Wormy says all aging players we can't shift, so we get in new. Take care, guys. Thank you very much. You too. Wayne says thanks, mate. Have a boss weekend. Thank you very much, mate. You too. Sportbotcher says goodbye, Cam. Tweet you about the game. Thank you very much, mate. Yes, definitely do. We'll get involved on Twitter. Carl says comparing Allen to Gylfi or Sandro is ludicrous. Sandro's a striker. Don't know why we'd be comparing Allen to Sandro. Watch Napoli and not reading on Twitter. Eugene says see you about the toffees. Thank you very much, mate. See you on Monday. James says cheers, Cam. Thank you very much. And William says I've never complained about Allen. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Listen, first pre-season game tomorrow. What do I expect out of it? Not much, because Everton don't notoriously do well in pre-season games against lower league sides, because they turn up and want to win, and we turn up and want to just get it over and done with in most games. But hopefully there's a change under Carlo Ancelotti tomorrow. Hopefully we do turn up with a little bit of a little bit of positivity, a want to win, and an actual seriousness about us. Obviously, it's all about fitness and getting the players' fitness up. But let's see where we are after the game tomorrow. Big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.